Blog Talk Radio.
Here at ACO Radio, American Communications Online, or any affiliated stations or websites are not responsible for what guests, hosts, or call-ins may say. All programming is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, you couldn't hear me. Hello, everybody. Nice to hear you now. I guess you can hear me now. You couldn't hear me, so I apologize if the sound was too low. Can you hear me now, Richard? Or did I turn you on? Let's see. Okay, Richard, is the sound not on? Let me turn the sound on. I thought we were on. Everybody, hello. I'm talking to myself here. Welcome aboard, all you ground troops spinning around smartly on the planet. We'll try this one more time. Apparently it was too much. Richard, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, are you on the... it says you're on the show.
Okay, well, I'm here. I was waiting for you to come on.
Well, you're on my phone, but I see that you're on my show, too. So do you have me on one
I shouldn't
line?
be on your phone. I did make 2 phone calls to you, but I hung up on both instances. So the only thing I should be showing right now is the show itself.
No, you're on my phone and not on the show. So call back in that 347 number. Okay. Here, I'll cut this one off. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, call. Okay, now we're back. The show is showing. Sometimes we have the world and the universe gives us a funny thing to check us out to see if we know what we're doing. And usually we don't. We think we know. So God has no religion and God has no plan for today. Apparently He's leaving it up to us. And these technical issues we're having with our online interspace Ascension Center and Ascension Church Ohana Awakening Movement, folks. So welcome to the Ascension Age Awakening Movement. I'll be your host today, Teresa J. Morris, with Richard T. Knight, my co-host. And, we're going to be pastors today because I have Teresa J. Morris Ministries, and I actually do have a website for that, and I'm not sure what it's going to look like when it grows up. But Richard T. Knight has agreed to be a pastor with me. And of course, somebody's going to be at the door. So stand by. Richard, would you introduce yourself while the whole world's coming around? But Richard, introduce yourself.
Sure.
We've got the world.
All right. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone, depending on what time zone you're in. My name is Richard T. Knight. I am a very thoroughly educated individual, and I have been a reverend and a priest, and I am actually a bishop with the Eastern Orthodox Coptic Egyptian Church. So I have been around organized religion for quite some time. I have been ordained as a minister since the age of 19, and I'm currently 65. I hail from the gracious state of California, and I currently reside in Georgia. However, I am looking to move probably in the future to Arkansas, possibly. Anyway, our physical residence as far as the church is concerned, as the Ascension Church Ohana, is located in Gulf Breeze, Florida. And, of course, we are in a cyberspace ministry at the moment. I also have doctorates in theology, religious science, metaphysics, and divinity. So I am very well educated in the areas of religion, and I have been on the ascension path of fully awakening as a given individual since birth. I came in not disconnected from source of all, or basically the God consciousness that resides within us all. And I was very much aware of who I was with the ability to even speak as an infant. So that was a sign to others, that I am fully consciously aware of who I am and where I came from. So it's been that way. It's been an interesting path in life. There's been all kinds of paranormal and supernatural events. There's been all kinds of healing going on. There's been all kinds of different activities and different intersessions, with all kinds of different people from different paths. I wear numerous hats. I'm very well oriented with the initiatory path and the traditions of initiation. I'm also very well aware of the magical paths and those particular aspects as far as white magic, gray magic, and black magic used for self-defense and the defense of others. And I come to you today with an open heart and an open mind in hopes that basically we shall inspire you to awaken within yourself all that you can be and to leave the outside world, which is full of pain and trauma and chaos at the moment, behind you. Because once you grow into yourself and fully awaken, become the divine being that you actually are, and not the purely human being that you have been programmed to believe that is all that you consist of. So basically, I always walk the path from having a spiritual being having a human experience and not a human chasing after a spiritual experience. And this has been my take on life and my reality for the last 65 years, and it has served me well. I have been in a lot of conflict as far as situations are concerned, and of course the grace of God and the mercy of Mary and the mercy of Christ have seen me through all kinds of adversity and everything else. And so therefore I come to you with a humble heart and an open mind, and I wish you to awaken from the aspect being of the Ascension path, which is basically the forefront movement at the moment amongst all of us here on Earth. Great, of course, it is again a personal choice because we all have free will. So therefore, you've got to decide for yourself what it is you will do for yourself and from what perspective you see reality as. Because we try our utmost desire, of course, is to live in the here and now, in the now moment. The 0 point allows you to create your reality. And when you think about it, your mindset and your thoughts, as well as your spoken words and your actions, determine what actually creates or appears before you physically in reality in the 3D world. Of course, we live in a world of duality, so naturally there's good and bad, and the white and dark, and all the rest of this. And we have created our church and thrown the doors wide open to receive and accept everybody without judgment under the auspices of unconditional love, which is the same way that Christ himself came unto the people of the earth. So anyway, not that I claim to be Christ. Now, I do adhere to his 3 golden rules, of course. Love others as you would love yourself. Treat others as you would treat yourself. And above all, judge not lest ye be judged. So, and even he, in his last teachings, said, there shall be many that shall come after me that shall do even greater things than I. Now, that is a token statement saying that, yes, we are all his brothers and sisters, and that we are awakening unto our Christ-conscious selves. In other words, we have to reach up and inside ourselves in order to understand who we truly are and where we truly come from, and all of the gifts and abilities that we as given individuals have. Not to mention, we could easily be on a mission. Not all of us are. But basically, this can be looked upon as either a school, or it could unfortunately also be looked upon as a jail. It depends on what opinion you're going with and what perspective you happen to see things through. And of course, the glass is half empty or the glass is half full. The choice is always yours. And it is choices that make up our experiences to a very, very large degree. And this understanding precious reality at the moment, because you have to be able to center and focus and ground as a given individual, as a spiritual identity, as a spiritual divine being that traverses in the multiverse. Okay? We have more than just the universe around us and our cosmic brotherhood, but we also have a multiverse, which means that we transit through numerous dimensions at any given moment. And of course, we travel greatly when we close our eyes and sleep at night. Sometimes we astral travel, sometimes we visit our star brothers and sisters, sometimes we visit other planets. And of course, if you have a true emotional intent as to the welfare of another given individual, you have the ability to actually go and check in on them and see how they're doing. so that you are become calm in spirit, because that concern is now taken care of, because you know that you have visited them and seen upon their well-being, and therefore you are more relaxed and more calm. And I mean, it is serenity that we all are betokened. I mean, we have gifts of the Spirit. We have joy. We have happiness. We have contentment. We have bliss. We have ecstasy. All of these are states of the Spirit, okay? These are all states of being. It is not something that you achieve or chase after. It is not something that someone else can give to you. Rather, you have to give it unto yourself. So therefore, this is where we're at. This is where we come from. And, I reach out to you with unconditional love and full acceptance, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you've been, regardless of where you are now, regardless of all that you have been through in life, because life itself is a journey, and we are taught many, many lessons. And unfortunately, if we don't learn a lesson the first time, we are basically taught the lesson over and over again until, in fact, we do absorb it within our hearts and within ourselves. And so we learn the wisdom and the experience out of that lesson, and then we are allowed to move on. Now, of course, human beings are social persons. We're social animals. And yes, you could say that we are animals because we are at the top of the food chain. We have the highest intellect, okay, in regards to mammals. Now, of course, we also have our brothers, the dolphins, and we also have our brothers and sisters, the whales, and they too share in a conscious relationship in a human similar kind of community, and that they constantly communicate with each other through sound waves. Well, if you think of the spoken word, that too is sound waves. So we are all vibrating at a specific frequency that is in tune to our spiritual selves and our spiritual nature. And this frequency and energy basically draws unto us like-minded individuals or positive experiences. Again, depending on what your outlook and your perception is. If you are positive in nature, then in turn, positive things are going to create themselves and happen around you on a constant basis, and it will become very synchronistic. And we call that kind of like stepping into the flow of God, because if you consider God as being unconditional love, the more you embrace unconditional love, you step into the flow of creative unconditional love in all aspects and all perceptions, and therefore you move forward and your life becomes filled with happiness and joy and contentment, because you have stepped into the flow of the creation or the creative source itself in an unconditional loving way. And so as long as you embrace love, therefore nothing but loving experiences come your way. And we need at this juncture to let go of all our pain and our sorrow and our trauma and our hardship and our chaos and our separation between each other. We need to let all of this go, because these, in fact, are illusory, okay? We are one family of man. We are one race. Color, creed, denomination, belief system, tradition make no significant difference at all, because that in turn enriches you as a given individual, and that experience and wisdom you can share with others outright. And this is what the Church of Ascension Ohana is all about. We are one family of man, one family of and in God. Okay? We are all children of the Lord and Lady, or whatever you wish to call them. There is a source of power above us that is conscious and is wise, and therefore in turn assists us in creating our reality as given individuals, and also the reality that we share commonly as the race of man. So you're talking about two different consciousnesses, and yet they are intertwined. You are talking about two different realities, and yet again, they are intertwined. And we as a race agree to the commonality of reality form. In other words, houses, buildings, cars, streets, trees, forests, lawns, open spaces, animals. We are agreeing on a conscious level that all of this basically is our reality that we share in common as a society and civilization of human beings. Then in turn you have your own individual world, okay? And that would include your parents, your friends, your extended family, or anyone that you love and respect, anyone that you honor tradition-wise, anything that you honor belief-wise, anything that you hold close to your heart, that then becomes your own world. Because in that world,